Hello guys, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial on Blue Bossa. So I'm going to be showing you a kind of straightforward arrangement. Hopefully this will give you some ideas to get started playing this tune. So I'm going to be doing two videos on this. The first part we're going to be looking at how to play the tune or the head, and then in part two we'll be looking at some ideas for improvising. So this is obviously just the way I play this tune. Obviously feel free to put your own ideas in or change anything. Hopefully this will give you some ideas to get started though. So we'll start by just looking at the first few bars. So I'll just play through the first few bars and then I'll break down what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll start by looking at just the single note melody. So what we're going to do is we're looking to kind of harmonize this melody a little bit to make it sound a bit more interesting. So the first chord that we have here is a C minor 6 chord. So this is a pretty common chord that you get as the tonic or the home chord when you've got a tune in a minor key. So C minor 6, and what we're going to do is play an inversion of that, and our melody note is going to be on the top, so like that, and then we're just going to play a C down in the left hand, which gives us that. You might have noticed I was doing a kind of bass line in the left hand. So what I was doing there is just a kind of straightforward bossa nova bass line, like that. So we're just using roots and fifths of each chord. And the rhythm here, we're going 1, 2 and 3, 4. So our first note on the and. So 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. So we put all that together and it gives us this. Like that. If you find this bass line a bit tricky, you can just play one note on the fifth. So 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay, now we got a little bit of space here, so I like to kind of put a little kind of a couple of chord stabs in there just to keep the sense of rhythm going, like that. Okay, so moving on to the next part of the melody. So what we're going to do is harmonize these top two notes here. So we're going to use F minor 7 here. So there's our root position, F minor 7. And what we're going to do is just play rootless and add our melody note on the top, which makes it an F minor 9, like that. And then F in the bass gives us that. And then moving down to the F melody, then this is where we have a B flat 7 chord. There's root position B flat 7. And the chord we're going to do here is a B flat 7 with a flattened ninth. So that B there is our flattened ninth. So it just makes it sound a little bit more interesting. So if we compare that with a normal ninth, which would be the C, like that. So that's with the normal ninth. then with the flattened ninth. Bit of a subtle difference, but I think it just makes it sound a little bit more colourful, a bit more interesting. Like that. So. Okay. Moving on to the next part. So here we're using a D minor 7 flat 5. Again, just using an inversion of that, making sure our melody note is on the top. Notice also that for the bass line, because it's a flattened fifth chord, we want to make sure that we do use that flattened fifth in the bass line too. If we use the normal fifth, then you're going to get this pretty nasty clash here. So if the chord is a flattened fifth, make sure that you're using flattened fifth in the bass line also. And then here we have a G7 chord. I'll show you what I was doing here first. So basically I'm just sort of playing a big chord here, just to kind of fill in the gap. And the chord I'm doing here, it's basically a G7 on the bottom, and then we're adding a sharpened fifth and a sharpened ninth on the top. Like that. And then the next part of the melody, so here what I'm doing is basically harmonizing the melody in sixths. So just these two notes here, I'm going to play that in sixths here. So that's a nice trick that you can always do just to harmonize a melody. Play in sixths. Okay, and then moving on. Now I'm going to move up the register for this next part of the melody, because this starts to get a bit low down here, so I'm going to move up an octave. So here we have E flat minor 7, A flat 7, and D flat major 7. So this is just a 2-5-1 in the key of D flat here. So we're using the same principle here. We're going to play a rootless E flat 7 and just add the melody note on the top. Like that. And then moving to our A flat 7 chord, we're going to use another 7 with a flat 9 here. Like this. So that's our flat ninth there. And then D flat major 7. Again, just using an inversion, melody note on the top. And then just moving up to a different inversion to continue that melody. Like that. So those last few chords together. Like that. If you want, you can add a ninth in to this chord. Okay, and then the last part of the melody. So we have another D minor 7 flat 5 here. and then here, this is similar to the chord we played before. So remember that one, the G7 with the sharp 5th and the sharp 9th. Only difference here is we have a flat 9th, which just happens to be the melody note there. So there's our D minor 7 flat 5. And then there's the G7. And then ending on the C minor 6. Like that. Okay. And then we just end with a G7 with a sharp 5th, and then that takes us back to the beginning of the head. So just that last bit again. And that's the whole head. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you can use some of those ideas. And obviously, yeah, that's just the way I'm playing it. Feel free to change any of that, put your own ideas in. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun learning this tune and have fun practicing it. And if you've got any questions or anything I said that didn't make sense, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll try and answer it as best as I can. But yeah, I'll do a part 2 soon where we'll be looking at how to improvise over this tune. So kind of what scales we can use and sort of styles of improvising. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks very much for watching.